Hi guys. So today we're going to talk about the tire pressure module and the tire pressure sensors that are located in each tires of your Hummer and of course the spare one. And that's going to be really important for this matter, what we're going to talk today. So it will happen to you once in a while that on your dashboard that's going to say SERV TPM, Service Tire Pressure Module. The reason for that usually it's one of the sensor lose connection with the module itself inside the Hummer. Some people doesn't know why, some other people says it comes and it goes. There's a few things that may cause that. The first thing, and usually that's the more obvious one, the sensors got little batteries inside of them. Each one of them got their own battery, and usually, depending on how much, if it's an OEM part or a really cheap brand part, you'll get up to 5 years to 10 years of life capacity in that battery for each one individually. So one can last 3 years, the other one can actually last the full 10 years, and another one may give up at 7 years. So that may be the problem why you got that service TPM that shows up. The first thing you do when you see that service TPM that shows up in your dashboard is actually to reset the module itself. And what you do, you sync back all your sensors with it. By doing so, it should remove the service TPM. As you'll see later in this video, I'll do the whole step by step. But I know mine actually, the batteries for the passenger side, and I think the back side on the passenger side, the batteries are completely gone. I had problems with those batteries, I think 3 years ago when I bought the Hummer. And the only thing I was doing is basically reset the sensors, the tire pressure module, every like 6 months, and I was good to go. Now it's on and I cannot reset it. That means I need to change those batteries. So that's one problem that can happen. Other times, it's not the batteries. If you do a rotation with your tires, let's say you bring those in the back, from the front to the back, and you crisscross them to the front, or you spare maybe one of the front and switch it with the spare one in the back to do a rotation, well, you need to sync back the sensor. So that spare that goes in the front now knows he's part of the cycle. And the one in the back needs to be kicked out of the module. So when you reset the module, after switching the spare back to the front, you will do the procedure of resetting those tires and skipping the spare one. Now the spare is going to be kicked out, and the module will know which tires are actually still on the vehicle. And that is something that may happen. Some people are saying, every year is the same thing. I got the service TPM that shows up, I need to bring it to a mechanic. You don't need to bring it to a mechanic, not right away. You can do that reset, try it out and see what happened. If you do have a problem resetting them, you may need to redo the reset. And what I mean by that is sometimes the battery is kind of low, so it doesn't really connect properly. So I start the procedure to reset, start with the first tire, go to the second one, and there's supposed to be a chirping sound, like a beeping, that will confirm that you did reset it. If it doesn't beep after 10 seconds, you'll need to restart the whole procedure from the start. Close the vehicle, put it back on, and redo the procedure. And until it works, if it still doesn't work, there's a big chance that your problem is one of the batteries completely out, and it will not sync, and you need to remove the valves on your tires right there and buy a new kit of 4 or 5 and replace them with all your tires. Usually I'll say wait until you change your tires, or just keep an eye on your tires and don't care about it. So all right, I'll move to the next part. This part is actually just a quick intermission between my explanation of the TPM and doing the whole procedure. I saw a few videos or people explaining how to do it, but the thing is this. My Hummer doesn't drive that much. Because of COVID, I've been stranded at home for months, and my battery is not so hot. So if you're doing that, doing the reset, make sure to connect your battery to a charger to keep it full, because this can drain your battery. So if you decide to do that procedure next to a gas station where there is a air pump to fill back up your tires, well, there is a chance you're going to drain your battery and you won't be able to start again, right? So we don't want that. Just be wary of that you may have your battery that runs out if you have to do the procedure more than once. One time should be fine, but more than once you could see your car not willing to start afterward. The other warning, of course, like I said, you'll need to put some air in it. So I got my compressor there. If you go to a gas station or anywhere else, make sure that you got a way to fill back up your tires. Because in the procedure itself, it asks you to remove air or put air in your tire for at least 10 seconds until there's a chirping sound to agree or confirm that it actually worked to sync that module. So just make sure that your battery is charged, or at least with a charger. Make sure you got some air supply close by to fill them back, because you're going to go 4 tires, and if it doesn't work and you have to go back again and reset it, well, you already removed maybe 5 psi of air in each tire or even more. So you want to make sure that you can fill them back up. The last thing, it's to remove the air. So to remove the air, it's pretty simple. You can use one of those gauge where you got that pin in the back that will help you out to remove the air. You got those tools to remove the valves. You can actually use it to remove some air, a small screwdriver, a nail, or a screw. I'm just going to show you something. Just be careful, because when you're removing the air, you see you got your pin. Try not to bend the pin. Really make sure you squish the top part straight and try not to bend them. If you bend it, it will not seal and you will have a slow leak always. Then you have to buy valves, and you'll need that tool, that tip of the tool, to remove the broken valve to replace it. And if you don't have those tools and don't have those valves, then you're kind of screwed, because now you got a flat tire, and let's say your spare is not good. Well, you have to jack the car, remove the tire, and bring it to a shop. So just be careful for that. It never did happen to me, but I know it did happen to a few guys. So it's not fun when it happens. And just take your time. The procedure, I think once you start the reset procedure, you got about 5 minutes to do the whole job. So don't stress, okay? You got plenty of time to do it. Just make sure you remove the air or inflate the tire for at least 10 seconds and wait for the chirping before moving to the next tire. So, okay, so the next part, I'll show you how to do the procedure. And like I'm telling you, there's a big chance my tires won't chirp at all. You'll hear the chirping from the module itself when it starts resetting, but we may not hear any chirping from my tires because I know my batteries are completely gone. They were due 3 years ago, and I stretched it till today to make this video, just to show you. If, let's say I try the first one, it doesn't chirp, I'll try to find a tire where the battery is still working. Do not do what I'll do at that point. Just, I'll explain this procedure. If I skip some tires without the chirp, it's just to show you guys the chirping noise it's supposed to make. So I'll explain that when we get there. All right, so now to the procedure how to reset your TPM. Okay, so now we're gonna start the procedure for resetting the service tire pressure module. The first thing you'll do is put your key on the position on. When this happens, you'll see we got the service TPM. So with the key on, you'll press your park brake, activate it, and it needs to show up in your dash. Even if your park brake is not connected, as long as you push that pedal and that message pop, it should do the job. That means the car knows that the park brake is on. The second part is to turn your light off 4 times in a row within, I'll say, like a 3 second to 4 second. So let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. You heard the chirping. That means right now we're in the reset mode for the tires. So before starting, I put all my tires at 35 psi of pressure, what is recommended for the Hummer H3, and I'll remove air for 10 seconds. That was the chirping. That means that the first tire has been recognized by the module. Now we'll switch to the other one. And we're gonna wait. You can wait at least 10 to 15 seconds just to make sure that the sensor takes its time to recognize it, well, the module for the sensor. If it doesn't work like this, what you'll do is the following. It may not be their batteries, just the module not recognizing what's happening. So what we'll do is just step back in the vehicle, turn your key off, put it back on, make sure your park brake is still on and you get the message. Park brake still on. So we'll do it again 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back in the module, the reset. And we'll do it again. Another 10 seconds. Let's see what happened. We'll wait at least 10 to 15 seconds. And like I said, I know my batteries are nearly completely out. So the first one sinking is already a miracle from itself. In a way, if your battery are still good or they still got enough juice to recognize, you'll be able to do the first one, it's going to chirp, do the second one the same way I did it until it chirps again, and keep going. And the way you do it, it's front driver side, passenger side front, rear passenger, and then rear driver side. That is clockwise around, starting from the driver. And that should reset it. A good way to make sure you got enough air is just make sure you got 35 psi in all your tires. And basically that's it. So once you connected all the tires, the first one chirp, second one chirp, third one chirp, and the fourth one chirp, you're all good to go. You can close your car, start it up. The message may still shows up. If it does shows up, you may have to drive a bit for the whole thing to recognize itself. But just the chirping will confirm that they all synced in. Some people may think that, well, I don't understand. Even if I take the front one and put it in the back, it's still connected to the whole thing. Well, the thing is this one's a bit outside of the vehicle, and sometimes the module will recognize it, some other times no, depending on the strength of that battery. So on that, I hope that helped you guys to know what's happening.